So could you tell us a little bit more about just yourself and what you do? I know you wear many hats, but I would like to, hear from you because I've seen what you do. I know of what you do, but for our listeners that are in Europe and in parts of Africa and also in the States, I really want you to tell us, just who is Seleene Wong? Who is she? What does she do? And why is she just so dynamic?
Oh, well, that's a very wonderful introduction. But yes, my name is Seleene Lois Wong. I am from the state of New Jersey. So yeah, I'm a true Jersey girl. I'm a mom of 3. Wearing many hats is something that, I got from my own mother. She always wore many hats. She was multiple things. And I think she was showing me a good work ethic without even, teaching me. She was just showing me and I was just following in her footsteps. And so one of the many hats that I do have is that, one, I am an educator. I've been in education for, I want to say 19 years.
This is right out of college, right? Or no? Was this right out of college?
Not really right out of college. I wasn't in education. I would work with families and children at the YMCA. And then 2 years after college, I started working in pre-K classrooms in East Orange, New Jersey.
Oh, East Orange.
And then from there, I was all over. I would say I was in all the urban cities that I love. East Orange, I was in the Bronx, I was in Newark, I was in Harlem, got out to Harlem, some heritages, and then ended up in my hometown in Jersey. And so I've been around in education and wore many hats within that field in special education.
Yeah. Oh my God. So why education though? Like what made you get into education? I mean, I know like there's probably some influence from YMCA, but.
Well, that and also my mother was an educator. My mother was a math teacher out of the Bronx for almost 30 years. And so I don't think she knew she was teaching me again about the work ethic of being a teacher, but I definitely followed in her footsteps as being in education, which brought me to special education. Was that I knew that children learn differently. And I learned that very early on, that there's not just one cookie cutter book that everybody has to learn out of. And there's multiple ways to learn one thing. There's multiple ways to cut an apple. There's multiple ways to cook a dish. Yeah. And that was what it was, brought me kind of into special education. And also I have a cousin of mine that was back in those days in the early 80s, they classified him as mental retardation. Yes. Now it's autism spectrum, but back then it was actually, that's what it was, classified. So I grew up with a cousin that was severely autistic, nonverbal. And so that kind of, brought him, heightened my interest in, how the minds of children who are, quote unquote, disabled.
Yeah. See, that is so interesting because I like what you said about how.
Thanks for listening to Miss IJ's Kids Inclusive Podcast this week. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so on our website at www.ijpopoola.com. Or if you want to write to us about topics you would love to hear covered on the show, the email address is popoloijelma@gmail.com, one word. And if you'd like to follow us on our social media pages, it's at Miss IJ's Kids. I am IJ Popoola, and you've listened to Miss IJ's Kids Inclusive Podcast.